Much better. Hmm.
The joys of a child with special needs. Some people are scared of what they don't understand. Did you know that most nonverbal kids are aggressive when they can't express their needs? Imagine living in a world and being misunderstood, trying to communicate, and trying to gain access to something. Kids with special needs are sometimes treated unfairly. Let's talk about it. You should take the time to understand a child with special needs. He or she is just like you or I. He has feelings. He understands more than you think. You should take the opportunity to teach a special needs child something new. They are capable of learning. A lot of people think that kids with special needs will never learn things or that they don't know anything. And it just takes a little more effort than it does with a typical child. You just have to make sure that they're understanding you and that they're focused on what you're saying to them. Like you just have to make sure that you gain eye contact with them and make sure that they're looking at you because a lot of times they'll look off or they're not even paying you any attention. And if you get their eye contact, get them to focus on you, then sometimes they can't understand. Here we go. They are capable of learning. He or she is just as happy as you are when you have taught them something new. Now that we are a little more understanding, now it's time to communicate. Let's talk about it. There are different ways of communicating with kids that are nonverbal kids. He or she can gesture to what they want. They can come and they can point to what they want. They read your facial expressions and they'll give off facial expressions. Like if when your face is scrunched up like this, they know that you mean no or that something is wrong. So they're reading your facial expressions. You can also use purposeful communication, purposeful communication. You can use communication devices, sign language, and the kids that I work with, we use sign language and communication devices. With the communication devices, they use an app called ProLoQuo, and it's on the iPad. And what you do is you will show them the iPad, and you will say, "I want something to eat, juice." And what you'll do is you'll do hand over hand to get them to touch these buttons, and the communication device speaks for them. And when it speaks for them, it's with the intention that they will mimic it. If they keep hearing, they'll mimic it when they're trying to speak. Now that we can communicate, that we need to gain access to something. Let's talk about it. He or she will do anything to gain access to what they want. When they cannot communicate, they will use positive or negative attention just to get what they need. So if I want a cup of juice, I fall out on the floor or flop to the floor and or hit somebody just to get what I want, and I'm just trying to tell you I want a cup of juice. Where if you had that communication device and it's saying if you're pointing to it, I want something to drink, juice. Then you just taught them how to say that on their communication device versus them flopping to the floor just to try to tell you that they want something to drink. They'll also be aggressive to you or themselves. They'll bite their arm trying to get you to trying to tell you, I want something to drink. Whereas, again, if you was having them use that communication device or sign language to sign something to drink, they wouldn't be biting themselves or biting you to get access to something to drink. He or she, they will also use positive ways of trying to get your attention, which is they'll point to it or they'll point to a cup, try to get you to take the cup to them so that you can get them something to drink, and or they can grab your hand and take you to whatever they want. You know. In conclusion, we have talked about kids with special needs being misunderstood, trying to communicate, and trying to gain access to things. So let's recap. We have talked about understanding a child with special needs and how to communicate with a child with special needs and how they will try to gain access. I hope that I have helped someone who has had any misconceptions on kids with special needs today, they are not useless. They are worth more than some give them credit for. Take the time to understand the child that is trying to fit into a world that is not all that friendly to be different. Thank you.
All right.